All right, let's bring in Vince Wilfork now. And Vince, thanks for joining us. And just want to get your reaction to what went on Monday night. What was your initial reaction while you were watching it all kind of play out?
I mean, it was heartbreaking. I mean, never have I ever seen anything like that in sports. I think everybody did a great job. Especially the refs and the Bills and Cincinnati, recognizing something was going on. But as a fan looking at that, my heart just dropped. Because at the end of the day, we are all brothers. We are a fraternity. As you can see, all the love and support that Cincinnati had for Buffalo that night. And then now you're talking about the course of over the league and, other sports people chiming in and just showing the magnitude of support for this young man, 24 years old. Didn't even think about this could probably be his last game that he played, And it just goes to show you how tough of and violent of a game that we play. It's fun, but at the same time, it's serious. It's serious, and my heart goes out to Mr. Hamlin and his family and the Bills organization, his teammates, everybody. It's just sad, a sad sight to see.
It was very well said right there, Vince. You watch the player reactions on the field on Monday, and I think that might have been the most jarring thing about it is you're not used to seeing NFL players kind of react that way. I know that we often see guys who tear ACLs and, other injuries that are very serious. But this, seeing that, you just understood that this was a different magnitude. And then, hearing Zach Taylor talk about his conversation with Bills head coach Sean McDermott, you talked about, the brotherhood of the NFL, but also the coaches getting together and kind of seemingly deciding, we are not going to continue to play football in this situation. I can't imagine what that would have been like for guys to even think about trying to continue to play football in that situation.
I mean, you can't. You can't, because the first thing you're thinking about is you're thinking about your family member. You're thinking about your brother, If they would have continued to play a game, it would probably been a lot more people hurt. It probably would have been some guys boycotting the play, honestly. And I think the teams and the NFL did the right thing because it's more than football right now. It don't have nothing to do with football right now. This is about a young man that's fighting for his life, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to speak on the guy last Friday. Played 7 years for Jacksonville, ended up passing away, 38 years old. I don't know how to say his name and I don't want to screw it up, but my heart goes out to that family as well. So, it's a lot of things that, sometimes we sit back and we don't realize, how blessed we are. Sometimes we don't realize the game we play, how tough it is. But, when it's called for unity, when it calls for your brothers and your sisters and your family step up, I think everybody's doing that now. And that's the one thing about sports I do love, no matter what sport it is. When something tragedy happens, we all tend to come together. It brings everybody together, and I'm just praying that, Mr. Hamlin make a speedy recovery. All my prayers is with him and his family, and he'll be okay. Hopefully he'll pull everything out, and he'll be okay.
Meanwhile, you talk about, everyone else that's, affected, the Buffalo Bills, his teammates, his family. On the other side, too, T Higgins, who was involved in the play, who went into Damar Hamlin on that one. You feel for him as well because that's going to carry, some guilt towards it. And really just you're watching it and it seems like just a football play.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. It's we have seen that play and we've seen that tackle hundreds and thousands of times before, and this time it was just different, and I know T Higgins, I know he feels terribly bad about it, and that's going to be something that he's going to carry with. But I think with the love and the support that we have for one another in times like this, I think both of them will get over that hump, you know. That's why it's like everybody's sitting waiting. I mean, we want to know every second, every minute, and every hour, how is he doing? How is he doing? How is Mr. Hamlin doing? You know, because this is something that hasn't been seen in quite for a while in the NFL and in sports. So it takes, like I said, it takes away from the fact we playing a football game. It's all about how is my brother doing? How is my son doing? How is my cousin doing? How is my family member doing? We put football on the back burner. We put sports on the back burner right now because we have to and we're supposed to. And I think NFL and everybody's doing the right, doing what's right because his life comes first. His health comes first. And then football is secondary. We'll get to football when we get to it. But right now, our main concern is for Mr. Hamlin to be okay.
And how do you go forward, too? Because you're talking about, and obviously the priority is Damar Hamlin and his health, but if you're a team like the Buffalo Bills, even if you're the Patriots this weekend, and if they're going to play football as it is currently scheduled to go off on Sunday afternoon, how do you move forward and play football on a Wednesday before, you know, this Week 18 game?
But, I mean, nobody knows, you know? Nobody knows until you're in that situation, in the position of what you have to do and what you got to do. You know, you don't go in with a game plan saying, hey, this is what we have to do. We do this all the time. Like, no, this is something that either side is in uncharted territory. We don't understand. So you really have to take this day by day, and you have to make sure you do what's right. And I don't know what that is. Buffalo don't know what it is. The Patriots, the NFL, we don't know what that is, you know, because at the end of the day, people saying football, but at the same time, you have someone fight for his life. So it's like, how can you be right? You won't know until you're in that moment, you know, but you got, you know, I truly believe in the man upstairs, and you put everything in his name and in his word, he'll do the rest, you know, and I think right now it's the first time in a long time that we have non-believers over the air and on TV. Everybody's talking about praying, you see? So that just goes to show you we deal with a mighty God that we serve. So I think we put everything in his hand and everything else will be okay.
Yeah, and obviously that's has a huge presence in every NFL locker room across the league and every walk of life as well. Would you feel comfortable playing on Sunday afternoon if you were to be on the Patriots or the Bills in this situation?
It all depends on where Mr. Hamlin is at that point. You know, if he's still in critical condition, and still, you know, things is not as positive as I'd like, no, I wouldn't play. But if things heading in the right direction, he's seeing positivity, his family feeling good about things, that's different, you know? So that's why I say you got to be very careful. Everything we've been hearing is positive stuff now. You know, it's not as fast, but it is moving in the right direction. That's good news, you know? So you just have to play it by ear and all the way to the last second. But as a player and as a human first, I wouldn't step on the field if he's still he's not good enough for me, you know. But that's me, because at the end of the day, the game is a game. You know, I'm
All right. Oh, I think we lost you there, Vince. Thank you so much, though. Really appreciate you taking the time and talking about that. Vince Wilfork, of course, former Patriot